Hello, how has your week been? Your question for today is this. What do you say in reply when someone says to you, "Thank you"? As I was scanning through my Twitter feed last week, I noticed a post where someone had suggested a reply to when someone says to you, "Thank you." I'm afraid it's now lost in the feed, so apologies I can't attribute this. The suggestion that they made, as I recall, was to reply, "You're worth it," which got me thinking about whether I would ever say that, and if I didn't, what might I say instead? The idea behind this particular reply, "You're worth it," is to validate and appreciate whoever it is that has received whatever you've done for them. It also validates their thanks. It indicates that you really appreciated being thanked, and you see this as more than just a social convention. I also think that saying something like this is particularly important to people who may be feeling disempowered generally, or may have been slightly embarrassed that they needed someone to have done something for them. When might you reply to someone's thank you with, "You're worth it"? Now I have to say that personally I'm not convinced it's a form of words I would use myself, but I do have something similar, which is a more authentic expression of my own. If, for example, you thank me for working with you in my professional capacity as a coach, I may well respond by saying, "It's a privilege." Whilst coaching is my business and how I make my living, I also genuinely see it as a privilege given the degree of openness clients show me and the level of trust they invest in me. If you share information, an opinion, a half-formed idea, a secret, or a cause for celebration, you're giving something to someone else that you expect them to treat with care and consideration. That's certainly how I regard the conversations I have with clients. The information I receive begins as privileged information. It belongs to the person who's seen fit to share it, and I treat it as a privilege to have received it. So when I reply to a thank you with "It's a privilege," it's because I want to show I value the relationship, as well as the content of our coaching conversations. What are you looking to convey when you reply to a thank you? How do you like to express this? Another way of replying to a thank you is one I heard from Robert Cialdini, who is Regents Professor Emeritus of Psychology and Marketing at Arizona State University. Professor Cialdini suggests that when someone thanks you for something you've done as a favour, as opposed to on a contractual basis, a good response is to say, "You do the same for me." The idea behind this comes from the belief that, fundamentally, most people who receive a favour are thereby inclined to want to return it. In his conferences, he often uses the remarkable example of when Ethiopia provided thousands of dollars in humanitarian aid to Mexico just after the 1985 Mexico earthquake. What makes this remarkable is because at the time Ethiopia was suffering from a crippling famine and civil war. What on earth prompted this national act of generosity? Well, Professor Cialdini points out that when Italy invaded Ethiopia in 1935, the first country to offer diplomatic support had been Mexico. 50 years later, Ethiopia had the opportunity to help Mexico when the South American country experienced its own crisis. Now, whilst there are always some people who are very happy to take something you have to offer and walk away and forget about you, most people, if you've done something for them, will be happy to reciprocate given the opportunity. By saying, "You'd do the same for me," you're both valuing the person for what they have to offer and letting them know that you're not so completely self-sufficient that you'll never need anything from anyone else. Why not try it this week when you have the opportunity to do something generous for another person? My final suggested response to a vote of thanks is to say, "It was a pleasure." As well as valuing the activity in the relationship, with this response you'll be validating the shared experience. And assuming the feelings of positivity and goodwill are jointly shared, you could follow this up with "let's do it again sometime," or even "when can we do this again?" Giving some thought to about how we respond to normal social conventions can be a way of adding additional colour, flavour and richness, both to our lives and those of other people. So the next time someone thanks you with a thank you, how might you respond? Please drop a line in whatever social channel you've found this and share your own pearl of wisdom. So from me, for now, since you've taken the trouble to follow this podcast, thank you.